He's still at 23, but Tobias Harris had 20. Duncan Robinson had 19. But maybe their most impressive feat was forcing 20 turnovers. That led to more than 30 points. James Harden accounted for 7 of those turnovers. Here was Harden after the game.
Do you think these turnovers are something that are correctable?
Yep. 1,000,000%.
What do you think?
Like some of them are, like Don just said, you look within first, and you look at my turnovers, and a lot of them were just on me and nothing they did. So, and which led to I don't even know how many transition points they had, but it was way too many. And I mean, if I had to put my print on one thing on the game, that's the game right there. I mean, how many points they had in transition? How far turnovers?
20.
There you
31.
go. That's the game. Like, it's nothing else.
31 was the answer. Donovan Mitchell corrected
Shea
himself
Butter,
there. The turnovers were such a problem. They really were last night. They were the story of the game, in my opinion. Stephen A., should this be James Harden's only chance at a title in Cleveland?
Shea Butter
go that far.
and the rest too versatile of a talent to look at him and say, you know what, we don't need him. There's too many ways he can help a team over the stretch of an 82-game schedule. I am fully aware of his playoff flaws. No doubt about it, as Doggy will never hesitate to highlight. We know what he's done in Game 7s. I'm just looking at him, his last 5 Game 7s combined. He's got a 2-3 record. He's averaging only 14.6 points. He shoots 28% from the field and 17% from three-point range. For somebody as great as James Harden, that is just inexcusable. It is inexplicable. There is no way around it. But respectfully to the reporter, and I'm not going to call him out or anything like that. I respect my colleagues and contemporaries. That was an insulting question. I mean, do you think you can fix it? Do you think you can fix turnovers? I mean, come on now. It's James Harden now. See, that's where we get beside ourselves. We understand he's had his struggles, but to ask a future Hall of Famer like James Harden, do you think you can fix a turnover issue? Is a very insulting question. Of course, he can fix the damn turnover. Now, he might not be able to fix that three-point shot. Might not be able to fix the field goal shooter. But fix turnovers? Really? Somebody as experienced as him? Of course he can. But in the end, it's inexplicable. Game 7 against, in the last series against Orlando, he only took, against Toronto, he only took 9 shots in the Game 7. See, it's stuff like that really, really boggles the mind. But should James Harden be his only chance with the Cavs? No, because let me tell you something. He's done a good job for them for the most part this season. They are in the Eastern Conference semifinals, and he didn't completely wet the bed and stink up the joint. He still had assists. He still made sure he fed the big boys, the Allens, the Mobleys of the world, Donovan Mitchell. They could be better, but they have not been god-awful. So I'll give credit where credit is due in that regard. And I've always believed in Donovan Mitchell. I just do.
I don't have it right in front of me, but I will say, in terms of that reporter's question, I believe James Harden has the 5th most turnovers in the playoffs since he joined the league and since they started tracking that, I believe. So him turning the ball over in the postseason in moments that matters, oh, here they are. Thank you for pulling that up for me. It matters. He has an issue correcting it.
Wait a minute, Shay.
Go ahead.
Look at who's number 1 and 2 on that list.
5, I was right.
So what I'm saying to you is that, of course, with the ball in their hands, the inordinate amount of times that it is, that would have something to do with it. Magic Johnson. Do you think Magic Johnson was asked that question? Can you help with the turnovers? Is Irvin Magic Johnson the greatest point guard in NBA history?
They were winning.
But the amount of time you have the ball in your hands plays a role in that, is all I'm saying.
100%. But if you're not winning the basketball game, we're going to look at the turnovers. Doggy, go ahead.
Well, listen, I think it's, I'm never a Harden fan. He played well scoring-wise in the fourth quarter last night, but sloppy. And I think you guys are way overrated with Donovan Mitchell. To me, I got to see him win some big games. He got killed by the Knicks. He didn't play in games against the Celtics. Last year, Indiana killed him. I mean, I had to go to Game 7 against Toronto without Ingram in a couple of those games. I'm going to calm down just a bit on Stephen's deal about Donovan Mitchell. The Detroit thing is interesting, because you got to give them credit on one hand. They're down 22 points, Game 6, Friday night in Orlando. Season's about to collapse. And Orlando had a lot to do with it, but they bounced back and figured out a way to win Game 7 easy. Now they got a little momentum, Detroit. They feel very good about themselves. And the Detroit Knicks series will be interesting, because they beat the Knicks 3 times in the regular year, if we get that far in a couple weeks.
Wendy.
Wendy?
This is a tie game with 5 minutes to go. The Cavs have Evan Mobley, Donovan Mitchell, and James Harden on the court. The Pistons have Jalen Duren and Cade Cunningham on the court. And the Pistons stars outplayed the Cavs stars down the stretch. That's why it's 1-0, period. Secondly, over the last 6 games, the first 2 games of the playoffs, Donovan and James Harden were excellent. The last 6 games, they've lost 4 of them. They're both shooting 40%. They've got 51 turnovers combined. Donovan has like 10 or 12 free throws the whole time. Mitchell and Harden are not playing to the level that the Cavs need. Bottom line, end of story.
Yeah, it just felt like this game, from start to finish, I know it was a tie game in the fourth, but the Pistons just were more physical than them the entire game. They bullied them, it felt like. All right, we got a bump here. Coming up, Ant-Man, Wemby, they battled with the Wolves, escaping a Game 1 with a win. Here why Game 2 is a must-win now for San Antonio. Plus, Orange.
And going down 3-1 and then rebounding the way. They weren't just down 3-1, guys. They were down 3.6 games to 2 at halftime of Game 6. So I tend to believe that when you play elimination game after elimination game after elimination game, you find out what you got. You find out what you're made of as far as a franchise, as far as individual teams, individual players. I mean, as far as your coach. And what you saw last night was a team that's not afraid of, oh man, we were up 11, we were up 17, and now they've come back on us. You didn't see them scare, you didn't see them buckle. And I think look, it's always a good thing when you win the next game. The results dictate those things.
Speaking of adversity, it seems to find James Harden in the postseason. Ooh. Can you explain this? 633 postseason turnovers in his career.
I mean, he's played a lot, for one. Mm-hmm. The stat that gets me the most is there's more games. I want to say more games. There's maybe 45 games, I think, where he has more turnovers than field goals. That's, for someone who handles the ball as much as he does, for someone who is genuinely regular season excellent. You know, granted, he's in year, 17 now. All these dudes are old, so I'm not going to expect him to buck his own history. But it's tough when that's what you rely on. It's tough when he's the main ball handler. Like, he had 2 plays against Cade Cunningham yesterday. One was a backcourt violation because he just wasn't paying attention. Another one was where Cade stripped him at the three-point line, and it wound up going to like a full court dunk. Like, those are plays that can't happen, when you're supposed to be sure-handed with the ball. And at some point, you are what your record says you are.
Vin, what do you make of the flop discourse? Because it got really, really loud this week from Jaylen Brown and his comments after the 76ers beat the Celtics, to Joel Embiid responding to it, Donovan Mitchell getting into it last night. Why are we at this point?
Well, it was expensive for Jaylen Brown because it cost him $50,000. I don't know about you, but if I get a $50,000 fine, like, that changes my life.
Yeah, it doesn't change.
Doesn't change it. That's drop in the bucket.
Yeah, that's a Friday night in Boston somewhere. I don't know exactly where in Boston, but maybe that's a Friday night somewhere. I think what he said after the what you say after the series and what you say during the series are 2 different things. When you're saying it after the series, you're venting, you're frustrated, whatever it is. When you're saying it during the series, it's gamesmanship. You're trying to set up the play for the next game. Donovan Mitchell hasn't gotten to the line as much over the course of the last 4 or 5 games. And you're talking about a 6'1" guard who's built stocky and everything else, so he's going and absorbing contact and he's not getting the calls. Secondarily, we don't want a parade to the free throw line. As fans and observers, we don't want that in the playoffs. We get enough of that in the regular season. We get 3-pointers and free throws. Like, we want a little more room for physicality. I will say, there's one person I don't want to hear this stuff from as far as flopping and free throws. It's the guy the night after you get eliminated, after you blow a 3-1 lead.
Right.
Because it sounds like you're not being intellectually honest about why your team lost the way that they lost.
Final thing here.
Yeah.
You're more interested tonight in watching Wemby or Ant?
Ooh, that's unfair. I'm going to be at Madison Square Garden. I am looking forward to seeing the New York Knicks. Go New York. No, Ant. Because Ant is just so compelling. The fact that Ant is so unserious in every other space, but then in the post game, he says, you know what, I miss blockouts. He came out and said in the game that he won, his team won in large part because he came back and played well. He's like, man, I miss these blockouts. I can't be making these mistakes. Anthony Edwards has taken out Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Nikola Jokic, all in the past 2 years in the playoffs. That is a Hall of Fame level of I'm a sniper. What happens if you take out the young new sniper?
Oh,
I love it.
Vincent Goodwill, ESPN senior NBA writer. You'll see him
Like
on
what is the Catholic Church? Am I like the Father, Son, the Holy Spirit?
Yeah, you'll see him on Get Up at 8 a.m. Eastern. First Take, of course, as well as the Hoop Collective podcast. Always a pleasure and always interesting. You taking shots at Knicks fans all over the place. That's fascinating.
I'll never hear from that again.
Never.
Man.
Now, I don't think you'll hear from anyone specifically about that one. Anyway, I know what I hear when I travel